back down on the front lake for episode 15 of the Chasing Monsters series. It's great to be back. Thanks to everybody that's been watching the videos over the last few months. The last one that got put out was back in January. A lot's happened since January, to be fair. I managed a trip away with Connor to France. First time on the Abbey Lakes complex. Really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen that video, check it out in the link above. Absolutely buzzing for Connor. Some of them carp were unbelievable as well. Looked like proper Walthamstow style carp, which was nice to see. But anyway, come back to the UK, and since being back, managed to get a couple of sessions under my belt. One being last week, the first 3-night session I'd done for a long time. Got down to the lake, I'd probably say about 5 o'clock in the morning for that one. And I'm glad I did, because I see about 8 to 10 fish within about 10 minutes of being at the lake. So yeah, it was a new northeasterly wind that was pumping down this way. And based on those facts and seeing those carp, I jumped in the double winters, which is the swim opposite this one. First 2 nights in there was a bit tough for me, really. Had fish coming out either side of me, but stuck to my guns and actually managed to pull out a lovely 32-pound 10 common, which is a lovely fish, and it's actually my new PB common as well to date, so really pleased about that. That was actually my first fish from the lake since January, so really happy that I managed to nick another one. And we're here now. I got back down the lake last night, arrived about 5 o'clock after work, see about 5 shows as well within a couple of hours of being here. And last night, down in this little corner here under this tree, there was something mega that come out about 1 in the morning. So I feel like I'm in the right zone, but it's just really nice to have managed to get a couple of sessions in, because it's just been all over the place for me over the last few months. I've got a few more things to tell you about, but for now I'm going to get the kettle on, have a quick drink, and we shall see what happens. Yes guys, so we're just approaching lunchtime. Going back to the previous session that I mentioned earlier on, it actually was quite a productive one, so I thought I'd briefly reference it in this video. Like I say, done my first 3-night session in the double winters. My friend Joe, who you see in the previous video, jumped in there with me for the first 2 nights, and he actually managed 2 lovely carp out of there. He had a lovely common and also an absolute banger of a mirror, which I don't think I've ever seen before. But yeah, he had 2 lovely fish. Once he left, my mate Sneddon jumped in for a quick night with me in the double winters, and he himself managed one that we call Rex, as it's a very ancient dinosaur looking carp, but all the same, he was really pleased to have nicked one. So yeah, just thought I'd reference those fish, show you a couple of pics and stuff, and yeah, flip back to this session. See a couple of fish show, but it has been a rather quiet morning compared to last night when they was absolutely having it. I've had a number of you contact me on social media asking about the rigs that I'm currently using. Now, although I haven't mentioned them in previous Chasing Monsters videos, I am planning to do a how-to video on my exact rig that I use at this part lake, but also a rig that I've got ultimate confidence in and have used at many venues across the UK and abroad. So yeah, stay tuned on the channel for that. The video will be coming soon. Well, Mr. Sneddon, it's been quite some time, mate, since you come in the video, isn't it?
It's been a while, mate.
How you doing?
It's been a while. Yeah, all good, mate. All good. Just excited to be back out on the bank, to be honest with you, mate.
Yeah, see, it's hard. Time is hard these days, isn't it, to get free?
No, definitely, mate. Work commitments and families, and you just got to enjoy the time that you do spend out on the bank.
Yeah, that's it, 100%.
Either catching, not catching, just being here is just something in itself anyway.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You got on last night, what was it, about 1 o'clock you jumped on?
Yeah, about 1 o'clock, got on last night, got the rod sorted, and then chilled up for a little bit. But yeah, they were showing out in front of us last night. What's the best way to put it? It was nice seeing it and knowing that something's in front of you. Like, it's not like you're going into a swim and not seeing anything and just being stuck in that swim. Being able to choose something and actually get on and hopefully something happens from it, it's always a bonus, ain't it?
Yeah, of course, like half the time we spend over here, it's actually trying to find them. So to jump on yesterday and actually see them within, well, for me it was within sort of half hour to an hour or so, but the fact that they was out in front of both of us last night, I think it's wise to probably stay put for this second night. I mean, there's a couple of swims that have come free now over the other side of the lake, but we've had our eyes out there all day and haven't seen nothing over there, so I think it's a wise move to stay here, just to see what happens.
Well, I'll definitely be staying put, mate. Unless I see something drastically happen going forward, then I will be staying put for the night.
Yeah, me too. I'm quite shocked. It's quiet around here now, don't it? About 3 or 4 people left early this morning.
Yeah, well, hopefully, with a few less lines in the water, they start to feel a bit more confident and actually do get down on the feed, which would be fantastic.
Yeah.
But who knows? Until it happens, we shall wait and see.
Yeah. Sweet. Oh God. Right, so just thought I'd quickly check in before I get some kip. It's been a mega quiet day really. Not much to report, but fingers crossed something happens. It's the final night. I'm packing up tomorrow morning. I've got to shoot off, do a bit of work, and then going into another bank holiday weekend. So yeah, looking forward to that. Got a few things planned over the weekend, but yeah, as for the fishing, really pleased that I managed to nick one last week. A couple of the other boys obviously had some as well, so yeah, it's been really good to be fair this month, and hopefully it continues. Weather's obviously getting warmer, we're going into the summer, can't wait. Hopefully nick a couple of more fish, but to have my first 30 of the new season, absolutely buzzing, lovely common, and yeah, hopefully these last sort of 10-12 hours something happens. The rods are out there, they're all on the dance floor, but for now I'm going to get into my bed and have a lovely bit of kip. See you in the morning. Well, talk about behind the scenes dodginess. I've got my camera on a tripod at the tip of my rods in the lake, filming on my own, so hopefully this goes well. Just wanted to tune in this morning. It's the last morning of my session. I'm about to wrap this up in about the next 30 or so minutes. Rods are still on the dance floor. Slow little pack away, put the bivvy away, just got the bed and a few bits to put back now. But yeah, it was really nice to get out. Unfortunately, this session was a little bit bleaker than last week. Apart from seeing them show when I first got here on the Wednesday night, it's been relatively quiet. Yesterday was just completely dead, didn't see anything myself. Sneddon told me he see like one roll mid-afternoon in front of him, but apart from that, it has been really, really quiet. Thanks for watching the video, hope you've enjoyed it. It's always nice when there's a few fish in my videos, but it doesn't always happen like that. Please make sure you like, share and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate all of the support that I've been getting. I hope you enjoyed the Abbey Lakes video. Really, really enjoyed putting that one together, like I said. And yeah, some cracking fish there. Hopefully get to go back there at some point this year, if not next. I may be doing a quick trip to France later on in the year as well, so if I do that, then there will also be a video on that. But until then, take care of yourself. I hope you enjoy any fishing that you manage to get out and do. Go catch them big uns, and I'll see you in the next one. Sweet.
Man, see? Right! My G! Come on. Nice. Big up the capture!
I was sitting at a lengthy blank at the time. I'd done a few weekends, a couple overnighters. It was starting to get to me, to be honest, but stuck with what I knew what worked over here. It's normally just runnies, fishing in a silt, just off of the gravel spots with a stiff boom. So hopefully if the coots pick me up, I would always reset. Yeah, something you've probably heard 100 times before, but it's effective fishing over here. It's a must-have really, because the coots are a problem. So yeah, I was coming into my 8th session. Started off the session with not much of a swim choice, to be honest. I spoke to a few of the boys that were fishing here a couple of days before. Yeah, and they said they see a few fish by the windmill, which sounded about right, to be honest, because the sun was up and the fish were probably enjoying the shallower parts of the lake. Yeah, so I jumped in the Cherries 1. I wasn't really happy, to be honest. Anyone that knows the lake and fishes the Chase, they know that the Cherries gets a bit tight when there's 2 anglers in 1 and 2. So I'd done a night in the Cherries 1. The next day I wasn't really feeling it because the sun went in, the temperature dropped. So I thought it would be a good idea to go out into open water. I moved across the lake into a swim called the Double Winters. I was feeling confident because I already knew my spots, so there was no need to be leading about and thrashing the water, which meant all I had to concentrate on was getting the rigs out there first cast, spodding my bait as tight as possible. Yeah, on top of that, a few of the boys I was jumping in behind had a few fish out of there, so I was feeling extra confident as well. First night was pretty quiet, but the next morning the move paid off with a 37-pound mirror. Yeah, as you can imagine, I was buzzing with that. It's been about 8 sessions and I finally had one in the net. A few hours later, I had a recapture of a common that I had back in January, this time at a lower weight of 34.8. She gave a decent fight. When I saw the shoulders hit the surface, at first I thought it was the Joanna, but I quickly realised once I netted it was the slow-headed common again. As it was a recapture, I quickly slipped her back and got my rods back out on the spot. A couple of hours later, I was sitting in my bivvy. I was looking at the common that Rick had after I jumped in behind him, and I realised it was the same fish that Leon had about an hour before he banked Joanna. Yeah, it had me thinking, could this be a session of a lifetime? Not long after that, I had a lovely upper 20. All 3 rods are gone by this point, so I knew the fish was holding up in my zone. I wasn't shy on giving them a lot of bait, just to keep them there feeding. If you fish the Chase, you know a lot of bait goes in here, but a lot of the bait gets eaten by the swans, coots and crayfish, so it's a hard choice. Do you keep spodding out and run the risk of overbaiting and scaring the fish, or do you leave it and hope that you've got bait out there and that your hook bait hasn't been done by the crays? Yeah, one thing I noticed though, throughout the whole session, the coots wasn't going down on my spot. Obviously they could see the carp down there and it was spooking them from going down on my bait and clearing me out. And I just had that feeling that everything was aligning up perfectly. I think it was around 2 o'clock when I had a few beeps on my middle rod and then the rod just melted off. As I picked up my rod, I slowly tightened the clutch and straight away I could feel I was into a big fish. The pulling power was immense. It was a typical big fish fight, staying low, charging left and right, just doing everything it could to unhook itself. kept darting straight downwards, taking me over to the overhanging tree, over towards the reed lines, where I thought at first I was going to lose her for a minute. But the hook holds I was getting, there was nailing them every time, and with the lead dropping off, she wasn't going anywhere. As I got her back round and gained some line on her, I brought the rod tip up higher, and she broke the surface about 3 to 4 rod lengths out. Yeah, one of the bailiffs said it looks like one of the new stockies, but I knew this definitely wasn't a stockie. I could see it was a big common. My adrenaline was going at this point, knowing full well this could be the biggest fish of the lake. After what I felt like was absolutely ages, I finally got her close enough to be netted, and straight away I knew it was her. I saw the distinctive scale pattern on the side, and I just needed Bill to confirm. Yeah, so he went over to the net, looked in it, looked at me, and I just knew straight away. I threw my rods down and punched the air. That feeling that it gave me was indescribable. I had a target this year, and that was to net my first UK 40, with Joanna being the main target. Knowing she only comes out a few times a year, and she hadn't been out yet, I planned to hit the lake hard from January onwards. So come a few weeks before spawning, I'll be fully in tune with the lake, and it will give me the best chance of catching her at her biggest weight. And for it to work the way it did, just made this catch even more special. After putting in all them hours on the bank in the cold and dark, it was all worth it. The excitement and satisfaction I got from catching that fish was unreal. But enough of the talking, sit back and enjoy the footage we got of this incredible carp.
My man.
No, that's me, man. Get in there.
My guy.
Come
on, bruv.
Wow.
Oi.
Biggest fish in the lake. Just come off an 8 session blank. I think it's my full fish of the session. I had a couple of 30s, 27, and this one's graced my net now. 46.10. Target.
Oh my days, bro. You done me proper. Oh my god. I did not expect that, man.
Just got drenched. I don't know what to say, man. Literally. Let's get her out in the water, get some shots in the water with her. Get some rubbish. See? I don't know what to say, man. I don't know what to say, literally. Alright, let's get her back here. Get in. Get in. to the boilie though?
Just trimmed it down.
You're not talking about it.
I'm very confused by what you're going on about, bro.
What have you done to that boilie, bro? Is that how it come, or have you made that?
No, I've trimmed it down. Like it's.
No, I'm talking about bait-wise, bro, on this. What have you done to it? There's all dust and all sorts on it.
No, it's the inside of the bait, innit? Like I've taken the outside of the bait off. Like I trimmed it down.
Well, that's how it looks, bro. Inside.
Yes.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Bro, you had me mad confused, bro. Cheers for putting that one out on cam for me, mate. Giving away all my secrets.
What's that? Bait don't works.
Get a bake works 10% off, guys. Use the code SNEDS. Yeah, you're playing that card. I see how it is.
I'm not recording. You hungry?
Yes.
Gotcha! Don't worry, mate, so am I.
I think you just rolling the whole time. We spoke about it.
No,
just
you
before.
didn't. Don't lie.
All right.
So he went over to the net, looked in it, looked at me, and I just knew straight away. I said too much. I said too much. I feel like I need to say something after I said that, because it feels like I just went over to the net, looked in it, looked at me, and I just knew straight away. I threw my rods down, punched the air, and what should I say after that? I'm not saying enough to finish it.